This is a video I've been wanting to do for a long time now. I just don't see any real way that there is like significant lag or really any lag at all when it comes to IPS kits. But this comment finally got me to say, okay, let's do this. Let's make a video about it. I don't see this ever being an issue, even right now before I do the test. And I'm going to start with the SPs, and then we'll do a couple more Game Boy Advance kits. These are the ones that I have. I unfortunately just sold off a few things in my collection. I still have more that are up for grabs, but these are the ones I'm going to keep. I don't see any reason to do this with any more mod kits, especially because these are like the big ones. We've got High-Speed Edo V2, High-Speed Edo V5, and the latest Funny Playing M2 kits. And then here we have a drop-in kit. We have the 101 screen, not even a mod, just the stock straight 101 kit. This is, I guess it's not stock, it's an aftermarket shell, and it's got a USB-C mod in it. But anyways, this is the old Funny Playing, I don't even remember what it's called anymore, the 3.0 kit. Yeah, Funny Playing 3.0. That's what we've got rocking today. I'm going to start with this because it's stock. This is a 30 FPS camera. If I notice anything significant, then I'll get out the high-speed camera, which is this one right here. Hence why we're not, I mean, it's not a high-speed camera, but it does 120 FPS. And then we're going to drop this footage into my Premiere Pro timeline, and we'll go frame by frame at 30 frames per second to see if there's actually any lag compared to this model. Put it on the max brightness here. And the way we're going to do this is I'm going into my test ROM made by Natalie the Nerd. I will even zoom in here, not too far in, but you'll see on the left side of all these, it will pop up with an X when I press the button. And I'm trying to make like a significant button press to show when I actually press it. There we go. I think that's good enough. Move on. We'll do the drop-in V4. I also want to make it clear right now, I'm fully prepared to eat my words. If there is significant lag here, I don't even know what constitutes a significant lag. I'll admit it. I'll admit I was wrong. I am not noticing anything. Oh, let's turn the brightness up. Oops. I am not noticing anything significant here. Funny Playing V3 or 3.0, whatever. The second most recent Funny Playing GPA kit. They don't sell this one anymore, so it really doesn't matter. It's just probably a way for me to prove that there's no lag, if that is the truth. Going over to the M2 kit. It's M2 kit. Now, there is a little bit more travel on these buttons since they're membrane, so I'm going to try and do it with a little bit more force here. Okay. I don't know what I'm really looking for other than it, like everything feels exactly the same so far. Oh, you can take my flash card out there. I need to clean this power switch again. I need to put a little more force here. I'm also gonna bring the brightness up so you can see this a little bit better. Seems good to me. And last try here, and then we'll hop on over to Premiere Pro. Let's turn up the brightness and boom, 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 boom. I don't know what to tell you. It seems perfect to me, especially compared to the 101, which is a stock screen. I'll show you for proof right here. This is a stock 101 screen. There's no soldering here. There's not even a dot to solder. There's no wire. There's no nothing. It's a stock SP. Let's flip over to Premiere Pro and see. I'm okay. Before we flip over to Premiere Pro, I will say this right now. I'm sorry if I am sounding snarky, and I will really feel embarrassed if I am wrong here. But it's just a comment that I see all the time, and it drives me crazy. It's a hardwired mod. There's no reason for this to ever need to lag. Like, if any of these lag, I feel like it's just a bad mod. But yeah, I don't know. Let's go see if this is laggy at all. Here's the recording in Premiere Pro. I'm gonna get to the good stuff. Too far. All right, we're getting to the good stuff here. And here we go. Let's do 1 frame at a time. That feels like the button is pressed to me. So that's one frame. Okay. 1 frame and it's red, which it seems normal to me. This is at 30 FPS. You can look at the bottom counter here, the bottom left. It changes over at 29 to 30. Let's just look at this more. Another one where that feels fully depressed to me. That doesn't look depressed. That does, because it moves there. But even then, we can go to a different one. Here's another one. We'll go in. That looks like it's pretty pressed in. And next frame, it starts to show up. Even when on the release, let's see here. That's release. And 1, 2, there we go. 1, maybe 2 frames at 30 FPS. We'll just say 2 frames to be on the safe side. Now let's go ahead to the next one. In case you forgot, this is the drop-in V4 from High-Speed Edo. That seems like it hits. So 1, 2, it starts to show up. That seems like it's almost pressed. That seems like it's pressed. It starts to barely fade in right there, the second frame. Pressed, 1, 2. All right, let's move on to the next one. This is the Funny Playing 3.0 kit. They don't sell this one anymore. Pressed, 1, 2, it's there. Pressed, 1, 2. Seems like there might be an argument. There might be an argument for the tiniest bit of delay. If you're worried about delay, if this worries you, just get a 101. I don't have a Game Boy Advance like the Long Boy modded with a 101 screen, but I would assume that there's no delay there either. To me, this doesn't count as anything significant, but if you're a speedrunner, everything counts. I don't know. Okay. Again, there's more travel here. So this is the M2 kit from Funny Playing. Not pressed, 1 frame. All right. Next one. That seems like half pressed. Definitely pressed there. Okay. So even at this, it's 1 frame. So if anything, it feels less laggy on an advance. You can see it. So we're pressed here. The next frame, you can see it ever so slightly. You can see the faintest X right here on the next frame. And it's fully in there. Pressed there. What delay? What delay are we talking about, people? I'm feeling very vindicated right now. Okay. Pressed there. Pressed. Okay, that one took 2 frames. But it looked like I moved the button over and it was actually like pressed down there. Because this is not a tactile switch. So I actually have to hit the membrane on the gold pad. But pressed there. Okay, moving on. Last one. IPS V2 from High-Speed Edo. Pressed there. Pressed there. That was 2 frames that time. Pressed and there. First frame. Pressed there. Boom. It doesn't get more obvious than that. Okay, I want to scroll back to the beginning. So pressed, 1, 2. If anything, SPs just have more input delay. That's what I'm getting from this video. Pressed, 1 frame, 2 frame. It's there. It was faint that time, but it was still there. Pressed, literally in the frame that it gets actually pressed, it's there. Okay. If anything, I think that the displays are actually faster with the IPS displays because the original Game Boy screens are notoriously bad for refresh rate. Maybe not refresh rate. I can't think of the right word. But like the whole reason why you get the transparent effect on the original Game Boy, the whole reason we have frame blending because of how slow the original screens were, there's nothing. I don't see anything. Yes, I could probably take this up to 120 FPS and maybe see something, but these games either run at 30 FPS or 60 FPS. And we recorded at 30 FPS. I'm not seeing any delay. I am not seeing any delay. Would it be more scientific to do it at 60 or 120? Absolutely. But no, there is no delay. I'm not going to do this for the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Pocket, or original Game Boy stuff. To me, this is right here just proves it. Okay? There's nothing to worry about. And I'm sorry if I'm sounding rude right now. It's just one of those comments that I get constantly that drives me up a wall. Because to me, like, I get it. I get there's other devices that make you think this, but this is not emulation. This is a hardwired mod. You're going straight into the device with these mods. So there's nothing to worry about with delay. It is hardwired. Okay. Now I have something to link to every person who says this in the future. Again, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be rude. Valid question. But I just want to make this clear. If I sound rude or annoyed or anything in this video, I mean no disrespect. I really am trying not to be rude. I just get asked this question a lot. And to me, this has always felt like an obvious answer that no, there isn't input delay. But I questioned it enough that I made this video and we tested it. So I just want to say, don't feel bad if you are one of the people that asked this question. Don't feel like you hurt me personally. It's just the amount of times I've heard this, the amount of times someone has commented this. It's just one of those things where I start to go insane after I see it so many times. So this is like hopefully to end that for me. I don't mean to be mean. I don't want to hurt your feelings, and don't feel like you hurt mine. Okay? We're good. Okay, cool.